Hi there. Today's topic is going to be about the quality of life of patients participating in clinical trials, and that there should be patient input into the design and the requirements and the obligations of participating in clinical trials. So I'm going to tell the example of a dear friend of mine, metastatic patient advocate, who's participating in a clinical trial right now. And you have scans, you have reports, you have testing that you need to do as part of the clinical trial. So when she went in to the clinical trial center in California, which by the way is very far away from her home, so it's a multi-hour drive, the treatment that she's taking, the experimental treatment, requires that it's taken on an empty stomach. And so she has a bit of nausea associated with that, and normally has some food about an hour later to sort of address the nausea and get something in her stomach. However, the requirement of the clinical trial for this testing day was that she had blood drawn on a fasted stomach a couple of hours after she took the drug. So she took the drug on an empty stomach, couldn't eat to address the nausea, had a couple of blood samples taken, then went into her appointment with the doctor, didn't have time to eat, and then immediately had to go in for some scans again, no time to eat. And then somewhere in there was some sample that she gave that needed to go over to another department, which at this point was closed after 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, you get the gist of it. A little bit more thoughtfulness about the requirements to genuinely meet what's necessary to learn from the clinical trial, but to address the patient, the quality of life, the comfort, the practicality would be thoughtful, and would be very easy to incorporate by including patients in the design of the clinical trial and the requirements and the obligations of the clinical trial. And it's another point of time toxicity that we discussed at the last time I did this. And I thought I'd give a couple of examples. I'm not involved in a clinical trial myself. However, there's a lot of time associated with having your cancer care. So one of the secrets that I was able to do it was just the luck of the draw. I happened to be 10 minutes away from my cancer center for those multiple trips back and forth there. But there are a couple of other tips where patients, I feel, can advocate for themselves, and it's unfortunate that patients, in addition to being patients and having cancer, have to advocate for themselves. But here's a couple of points. The first is a handicap sticker. So those times when you're driving around in circles and trying to make appointments, a handicap sticker comes in so handy and is genuinely needed, because there are times where you're just crawling out the car, and well earned to have that temporary handicap sticker. A second point is check out the Wi-Fi at the hospital and the infusion center. In my particular situation, the Wi-Fi was spectacular, was free, and from those moments when I'm in the waiting room, always had my work with me, my Christmas list with me, whatever it was on the personal or professional side that we need Wi-Fi for, and what don't we need Wi-Fi for, I was able to make use of that time. And then the third thing that I have found really interesting and helpful is to talk to the operators of the different scan machines, radiation, even the infusion nurses. First, remarkable training. You learn so much about nuclear medicine and nuclear training, but secondly, the flexibility. So in the beginning, I felt like I got an appointment, I had to go do the appointment, and the hell with what my other schedule and my other plans were in life. But when I would talk to the operator, there was a lot of flexibility. A lot of flexibility in time, if there's multiple locations for the scans. And even, this was very interesting, in a PET scan, you're not supposed to have glucose for the evening before, because it's like a little video game, highlighting, lighting up where there's glucose. Cancer cells are eating up glucose faster. And I didn't mind having all protein. I called it the PET scan diet. I shared it with my pet, no problem. But I asked him, I said, so, if I had had a little dish of pasta last night, would I not have been able to come in for my PET scan? He goes, yeah, a little bit of pasta would have been just fine. So there's a lot to learn from the operators who have really interesting training. And that's my quality of life message for the day. Thank you.